Can I remove my? I think it would be better. Okay, yeah, I think just testing the microphone. Hi. Before anything else, I'd like to request the troop commander to kindly bring your men to Tikas Pahinga. Thank you. On January 12, 2020, Taal volcano erupted and left thousands of people homeless in Batangas City. In response to a call for help, the Bayanihan Cordillera organized a massive vegetable donation drive to help provide food for the evacuees. On January 20th, our second caravan was on its way to Batangas when I got a message from Police Lieutenant Colonel Mary Cristal Peralta, the current Chief of Police of Tagbilaran City Police Station. She had messaged to ask if we could bring some vegetables to her home in San Luis, Batangas. As it turns out, she had taken 15 families at her house. At that time, San Luis had around 600 evacuees, and Colonel Peralta had 69 of those at her home. For the days and weeks that followed, she had eventually had to provide them with shelter, food, clothing out of her own pocket, with a little help from some of her friends. This happened a year ago, but every time I see Crystal on Facebook, I always look at her with such high regard and admiration for the kindness and generosity that she has shown the evacuees. I'm sharing her story today because I see her as an extraordinary woman. And yes, she is an extraordinary female police officer. Most of all, I'm proud and conference on the role of women in the police force. We went around Angeles City, Cebu, and Davao and met and interacted is hard disputable. in order to help attain our goal of striking a balance among men and women in the organization. Sadly, it doesn't have to be an even 50-50, but we now have to recognize that women have the potential of making a positive impact in the police force. I personally believe in this, not only because I'm a woman or because my sister is a police officer, but because I have personally witnessed the impact that police officers have in the community. It is time for us to move forward and to further strengthen the role of women in law enforcement. In one of my conversations with BCPO City Director Police Colonel Alan Ko, he said, and I quote directly, that female police officers from Cordillera have the same discipline as their male counterparts, and they perform above par and are not afraid of getting their hands dirty. They also work as hard as men at their tasks, which at the lowlands are expected to be performed normally just by male officers. Seeing that we are all at an equal footing, let us kick off Women's Month with a message for everyone, men and women. My father was a police officer, and when I was younger, boys were afraid to call me at home because they were afraid my father would just shoot them, like it was that easy. Yeah. Well, that was just one of my fondest memories of when he was in the force. The truth is, he wasn't around much when we were little, especially my brother and I, but our mother did a great job of inculcating in us the knowledge that he was away for work. At an early age, we were made to understand that our father had bigger responsibilities, such as serving the people and the country. Growing up, my head was filled with the notion that the world was a better and safer place because there are people like my dad and like you who made the sacrifice of staying away from their families so they could fulfill their duties as law enforcers. I was aware that he was away on our birthdays, on holidays, and on other special family gatherings because it was his job to make sure that other people celebrated these occasions in peace. In 2017, I started working closely with police officers by giving lectures and talks in different venues, and I have formed excellent relationships with plenty of them. Through that time, I have learned a lot of things from this organization, but today I would want to focus on only three. There are 3 R's that I have learned from the Philippine National Police. The first R is relationship. I've learned that in order to prevent crime, policing requires forming a good relationship with the community in order to build genuine trust for people to willingly come forward and report any kind of crime in their locality. Interestingly, forming a relationship with people is not that easy while you're wearing a uniform. Most of the time, police officers have to put their uniforms aside and just be one with the people because it makes them less intimidating and consequently more approachable. Police Colonel Peralta's story is an excellent example. During the volcanic eruption in Batangas, it would have been a lot easier for her if she had just closed her doors, hoarded her food, or left Batangas with her family because she had the capacity to do so. But she didn't. Instead, she opened her home to 69 strangers and provided them shelter, food, and security. The truth is, the story doesn't end there. She went on to help those evacuees get back on their feet by purchasing their basic needs when they returned to their homes, mostly with her own money. Now, in keeping with the Kapwa Ko Sagot Ko program of the PNP, she and her team at the Tagbilaran City Police Station has adopted a mentally impaired individual and has built a home for him. Indeed, law enforcement cannot be divorced from public service. These two always have to come together so as to create a lasting relationship with the community. The second R is resilience. It is loosely defined as the capacity to recover from difficult life events, but it truly means the ability to withstand adversity and grow despite life's downturns. As men and women in uniform, you're always faced with the most challenging situations because you are always expected to stand against the worst of it all. In today's world, people have a sense of entitlement that didn't exist generations ago. People now are different. They feel that your protection is their entitlement, that you're being paid to lay your lives on the line for them. Sometimes they even say they are the police. That's their job. Yes, maybe it is. But people also have to be reminded that behind the badges and uniforms are human beings just like them. In a job where you are constantly bombarded with judgment and criticism, you have to have the courage to keep holding your head up high. You have to possess the character which allows you to always remember right and wrong and have the capacity to follow a moral compass. The Philippine National Police does not only create warriors and fighters, it does not only breed fearlessness and courage, it also creates resilient men, women, wives, children, and families as a whole. It breeds commitment and loyalty and ultimately leads to resilient hearts, minds, and relationship. In the end, it is this resilience that allows us to bounce back from every painful experience and continue to live our lives in service of others. The last R is resonance. I learned from you and from life that it's the truth that everything we do, big or small, has an impact on the lives of people around us. In the end, it's not the big house or the fancy car that defines who we are, but it is the kindness that we give and the joy that we bring to people. Last November 15 and 16, 2019, my cousins and I conducted an outreach activity in Sitio Sabangan, Tinag Abra. We were initially apprehensive about it, a little afraid, because we were told by so many people that the place is a dangerous place to go to. However, we had the pleasure of being accompanied by Police Major Darwin Dumakmat and his team, the Abra Provincial Mobile Force, and also some officers from the Tinag Municipal Police Station. The event was a great success. Not only did we help the community and make new friends, the people in that place also learned that police officers could play with children and have normal social interactions. In my heart, I hope the impression we made that day would remain in them for a long time. One of my favorite authors, Maya Angelou, once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel." On that day in 2019, I reluctantly went to a place that people said was dangerous and unsafe, but the feeling of being protected by the police officers who were with us the whole time stays with me up to this day. These are the kinds of things people in uniform do that truly resonates in people's lives. Their relationship with the community, their presence, their humanity. It is not their intimidating presence, their rank, or their guns. It is their friendship, their ability to play with children, and their willingness to listen to other people and share their personal stories that make an impact. Ladies and gentlemen, I say we all remember this, that our titles, our jobs, our professions, even your ranks in the police force, are not who we are. They do not define us or dictate our place if you allow yourself to be held in greater hands and allow other human beings to access you for the many gifts that you possess. As men in uniform, there will always be times when you need to heed command and trust that it is for the greater good. 2. You will experience a painful sharpening from time to time by going through various problems in life, but you'll need it to become a stronger person. As police officers, your resilience will be tested by personal struggles and public criticism, but those will only serve to make you stronger and bolder. 3. You will be able to correct any mistakes you might make, just like any other person not in uniform. It will be more difficult because you are always in the public eye, but you can definitely do so as long as you try. 4. The most important part of you will always be what's on the inside. Your uniform is only a piece of clothing, and your gun is only a piece of steel. It is your humanity and the hero within you that truly matters. It is the child within you that once dreamt of becoming a police officer so that he could help others who cannot help themselves that will always shine. And 5, on every surface that you walk through, you must leave your mark. No matter what the situation, you must continue to do your duties to serve and protect. Always remember that you are an important part of this force and of this society, and that you are a special person who has the ability to make a change in the world. To all our female police officers, to all our gentlemen's respective wives, mothers, partners, sisters, and children, a happy Women's Month to all. Don't ever forget that you are worthy and you matter. Thank you very much.